You are listening to a TechSide Network podcast, TechSide.net, casual conversation from technically passionate people.
This is Americanitis, episode 14 for April 4th. I'm your host, Daniel Sagner. This podcast contains harsh language and covers adult topics. You'll be challenged by views with which you do not agree. We may not be politically correct, but we are correct about politics. Hey folks, this is a bit of a filler episode, nice and short while I'm taking some personal time. I hope you enjoy. Today we'll be talking about principles, moral principles. They're often derided as too stiff or not practical. Some say they have some value, but they leave you defenseless in the quote-unquote real world, that they don't allow you to deal with dynamic or specific situations in context. This is, of course, untrue, but it does hold a kernel of truth. That truth is that most people are perplexed or even paralyzed by their principles because they have chosen or accepted the wrong ones. Philosophy is the instruction manual that did not come with man. When you accept an irrational philosophy, when you pick up the wrong instruction manual, your principles necessarily conflict with reality. And remember, reality always wins. You cannot abide by a philosophy that upholds an irrational worldview and expect to have all the answers to difficult questions readily available. This is especially true if you have absorbed this philosophy by osmosis from the people around you without critical thought. It would be difficult, deadly, and irresponsible to charge ahead with surety guided only by the half-heard and unprocessed adages you happen to glean from authority figures, the news, and blue checkmarks on Twitter. What is necessary is a fully proven moral code, one that you understand down to its roots, one that conforms to reality. Nature, in order to be commanded, must be obeyed. Philosophy is not just a science, it is the father of the sciences. It tells us what is and how we know it. From there, we can tell what we ought to do and why. We can build a society and enjoy art. Philosophers call these things metaphysics, epistemology, ethics, politics, and aesthetics. When you develop a worldview and a code based on reality, you will soon find that rather than your principles conflicting with the world around you, that it aligns itself perfectly. The moral is the practical. You don't have to commit some act of self-immolation because it's the quote-unquote right thing to do. You will find that you never have to, nor should you, sacrifice something of a high value for something of a low value. That when you develop a hierarchy of values and understand why each is in its place, there are no more moral conundrums. You will make lightning-fast decisions and save yourself not only time but spiritual anguish. Choose a philosophy consciously. Understand why you chose it. Choose your values and why you pursue them. When you have the right principles, you will find that the answers jump off the page, and you will have no problem in following them. Moral certainty is one of the most powerful and rewarding tools in your life. Oh, and somewhat related, here's a little bonus. I have the answer to the trolley problem. If you're not familiar, the trolley problem is a moral dilemma presented as there's an unstoppable trolley running down the tracks. It's barreling towards 5 people who are bound to those tracks. There is a lever in front of you which will divert the trolley, but on the other track, 1 person is bound. Do you pull the lever, kill 5 people, or kill 1? This conundrum and its 1,000 derivations is supposed to tease out your ethics. If you say that you would divert the trolley, maybe you think it's greatest number for the greatest good. That's what's moral. If you don't, maybe you think that causing the 1 death is worse than standing by to allow the 5 deaths. The answer, of course, is that there is no answer. You do have to make a choice, but that choice is outside the realm of ethics. Ethics prescribes actions in the world in context, but your life is not a series of emergency lifeboat situations. Life would be impossible were it so. So, pull the lever or don't. I won't judge. Hey, it's time for the tweet of the week. A tweet from some rando on the internet hate machine, also known as Twitter. Quote, America. 70% support hashtag Medicare for all. 62% support tuition-free public colleges. 55% support a $15 minimum wage. 59% want universal child care/pre-K. 72% want to expand Social Security. 64% want to make marijuana legal. 58% want to break up big banks. Stop fucking around. This is an excellent example of not thinking in principles. Instead, this person has given over her moral authority to the mob. She has absorbed bad philosophy from the culture around her and, instead of thinking for herself, points to the torch-wielding poll-takers. That is her argument. Look, all of these people want a thing, so give it to them. Most of us grow out of this mentality when we are children, but this does serve to illustrate a point. What if 75% of people polled said that America should be a theocracy? Would you say, stop fucking around and work to implement that change, or make a smarmy post extolling it on Twitter? What if it was 99%? What if everyone in the country except you? What if the issue was abortion or slavery? What if they all decided that the nation would be better off with you dead? At what point do you not give in to the mob? I wonder this person's views on Brexit. After all, 51% of people said they wanted to leave the EU, so stop fucking around, right? People like this, despite their clear lack of principles, can also have what looks like moral certainty, and it makes them self-assured and dangerous. When someone thinks they are right, they will do anything to achieve their goal. Got a topic or feedback? Reach out on Twitter. I'm at AmericanitisTech. That's the @ American, ITISTEK. Please subscribe via Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts if podcasts are your thing. I'm also on YouTube, so remember to subscribe there. Patronize us at patreon.com/techside. Show notes are at techside.net/Americanitis. Outro music is Crying in the Delta Wind by Mother Pluckin' Bee. I thank you all for listening. Later days.